Welcome to SVG-TV News on Monday, June 1st, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. To mark the beginning of the hurricane season, which runs from today, Monday, June 1st to November 30th, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves delivered his annual address to the nation, in which he urged Vincentians to be prepared for the season predicted to be below normal. Dr. Gonsalves says compared to 2013, last year was a mild hurricane season, and gave the statistics of what can be expected for this year as issued by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in their forecast on May 27th.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is predicting a 70% likelihood of 6 to 11 named storms, winds of 39 miles per hour and higher, 3 to 6 hurricanes of winds of 74 miles per hour higher, and 0 to 2 major hurricanes of category 3, 4, 5, which means winds of 111 miles per hour higher. So that even though it's below normal, there is still a potential here for the storms to bring about the floods, and given our topography, the landslides, and the damage and loss to lives and property. Or we can have some hurricanes of a category 1, category 2, and then we can even have to 2 hurricanes of 3, 4, and 5, which are hurricanes of severe intensity. We are hoping that none of these afflict us.
He further outlined the work that the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, has been doing to reduce the impacts of hurricanes and increase preparedness of the country.
NEMO has launched a new 10-year comprehensive disaster management strategy and plan. The overall strategy aims at building safer, more resilient communities in St. Vincent and Grenadines, enabled by a comprehensive approach to disaster management to reduce loss of lives and costs associated with hazard impacts. This strategy has 5 broad outcomes. They are to this plan. 1, reduce vulnerability of coastal zones, rivers, watersheds, public infrastructure and assets using risk management approaches which include climate change considerations. Second goal, improve comprehensive disaster management, legislative and policy environment interventions through the leadership of priority sectors, ministries, departments. Third, improve community resilience to hazard, improve disaster risk management planning in priority areas, improve national response and early recovery, supported by effective warning systems.
The PM warns that Vincentians should not solely depend on NEMO to protect them against disaster.
I've instructed the director of NEMO to convene a special session to brief permanent secretaries and their deputies on the role that individual ministries should play in this important task of preparing the country to face disasters, and also on their roles in disaster response and recovery. We really simply have to work together and build this country with pride and feeling and commitment. I want to commend all the community groups that are involved in the disaster management. These include the Red Cross Community Disaster Response Teams, NEMO's District Disaster Committees, of which there are some 42, as well as church-based and other groups which provide voluntary services in disaster management at the community level. You know that you're very important to the national establishment, and I personally, on behalf of the government and people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, want to thank you that all of this work can come to naught if you as an individual, you as families, as you as communities, don't pay attention to what we are saying, and let us work together to build the resilience.
Describing the country as having a troubled society and economy, Opposition leader Anim Eustace says the government is failing Vincentians. Speaking at a town hall meeting in New York last night, Eustace says over the last 7 years, SVG has seen negative growth and over 40 businesses closed. He says the government continually spends and borrows what it can't afford, and this is leading the country into deficits. The opposition leader expressed concern that the failing economy is leading to a higher crime rate.
To be frank with you, I don't see a short-term solution to that matter. Because crime includes some of the things I spoke about to do with women, and part of that is due to the present economic circumstances. You heard somebody make a comment here just a while ago about if they want to get a job, what they have to do. We believe this matters to be addressed and addressed comprehensively, both in terms of prevention and dealing with crime that has already been committed. And our Social Spatial Redemption Charter deals with the preventative aspects of crime.
Eustace also criticizes the structural operation of the police service, which he says is politicized and in many instances not handling cases fairly.
Almost the entire top of the service, 8 or 9 people come from one constituency, the Prime Minister's constituency. Another policemen who are trying to do the job, they just get to being tossed about all over. We have to address the issue of the structure and the personnel, actual personnel involved. When you can't have policemen going to political meeting and going to Prime Minister in red jersey and so on. Come on, that kind of thing that we're encouraging is all part of the lack of discipline and the breakdown in discipline in our society. They're politicians. They're not addressing the issues that confront them, or if it's a certain person, they don't touch them. There's another person they wanted as they did Miss Bibi.
With a pledge to fully integrate the Garifuna culture here in SVG, opposition leader Anim Eustace says this will be done within 1 month of his party being elected into office. Eustace says there is a need to inculcate the heritage of the indigenous peoples into the Vincentian society and promised to grant honorary citizenship to the Garifuna people who wish to identify St. Vincent and the Grenadines as their ancestral homeland. He says the more than 700,000 Garifuna descendants will also be a way of forging links not only in heritage tourism but also trade.
And the New Democratic Party have taken a policy position with which we will stand firm to fully integrate the Garifuna culture, etc., into our systems wherever they are, whether it be in schools or wherever. There's not much we can do until we assume office. What I promise you is that immediately on assuming office, we are going to recognize, as we did today, Garifuna officially within the first month of a New Democratic Party administration. We will consult with you. We will consult with you as to how we develop from there on.
Questioning the sincerity of the reparation process being carried out here, Eustace says more extensive research needs to be conducted if persons are truly serious about having real change.
In terms of finding data, I don't have all the details. I understand that some fundamental work has been done in that regard. of finding the data to make a claim, if I can put it that way. And they can only deal with the Garifuna by dealing with you. Nobody can guess, in your case, what is involved. Therefore, those who are mostly involved in the reparations exercise should have done the consults, and they should still do it now. We will do that. Yeah, but we're going to take a different road once we get in office, even on reparations, because I believe there are a lot of people who talk about reparations only have a political and not a real interest.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Japan recently signed a contract which will see the Asian country providing $2 million in grant assistance for various projects here. Speaking to members of the media on Friday, Minister of Foreign Affairs Camilo Gonzalez says while at the CARICOM Foreign Ministers meeting recently in St. Lucia, he met with the State Minister for Foreign Affairs in Japan and signed the Japan's non-profit grant aid for the provision of small and medium enterprises, SMEs. Minister Gonzalez adds that the monies will be used for the procurement of technologies, materials and other items from Japan for use in SVG.
So the way the program works essentially is that we've signed an agreement. Japan is giving us $2 million. The $2 million is for the purchase of Japanese products that we will use in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for various national development projects. So if we wanted to, for example, build a computer lab out of this project, and this is just off the top of my head, we would use the money, but we would buy Japanese computers, Japanese equipment, we'd purchase it in Japan, it would be shipped here to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we would build the project in that way. So it's not that they're just writing us a check. The deal is that we use the money to purchase Japanese products from Japanese enterprises and use them in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But this is an initial $2 million project. We are trying to program that money for a number of small projects of 100,000 US or so each, so that we can maximize the reach and scope of this project.
Minister Gonzalez expressed much gratitude to the government and people of Japan for the initial $2 million grant and explained that the Japanese government has also indicated that the grant can be renewed. The visit by this country's Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves earlier this year to Morocco may have precipitated some interest for the hackers who on May 3rd hacked the government's official website, gov.vc. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Technology Camilo Gonzalez told the media on Friday that when he learned of the hacking, two things came to mind that seemed to be odd coincidences. Minister Gonzalez listed the two events as the visit by PM Gonzalez to Morocco in late March and the date the website was hacked, one day before the government launched a new website and web portal. The technology minister says reports from the authorities in Morocco also state that the visit and statements by Prime Minister Gonzalez in Morocco were given very wide press coverage in Moroccan media. However, Minister Gonzalez says while he cannot say there is a causal relationship between the PM's visit to Morocco and the hacking, both events occurred in reasonable proximity to each other.
The hack was essentially just disabling the homepage of the gov.vc website. There was no contagion. They didn't get into anybody's email. They didn't get into any other servers or any other technological areas. What we learned is that while the hacking was successful from the hacker's perspective, on the 3rd of May, the attempts to break into the system actually began on the 24th of April. And in technological terms, they were trying what is called a brute force attack, where they bombard our servers from multiple computers with attempts to break into our system. And they began on the 24th with these attacks when we examined the logs, and they succeeded from there, or we failed, depending on which side of the equation you want to look at it, on the 3rd.
Minister Gonsalves says investigations have also revealed that the IP addresses and the location of the computers that hacked the site were from Morocco, countries in the European Union, Iraq, and also attempts from some Asian countries.
The technological experts have issued the caution that just because the IP addresses list those countries, it is not necessarily, they can't guarantee that that is actually the source of the attacks, because there are ways in which you can disguise your IP address. We also went onto various hacker websites. I'll cover the name of the website, but they listed the Moroccan Wolf gentleman or lady or gentleman listed a number of websites that they managed to hack on that day. And among them, when we analyze the hacking websites, there are some sites in the United States, there are some sites elsewhere in the Caribbean that have not discussed being hacked, so I don't want to out them. And then there were our gov.vc websites as well, which lent credence to the belief that this was a hacker who has been hacking around the world for the credit of it.
Meantime, Minister Gunn serves as that the government has since communicated with the United States Department, which is also carrying out its own information gathering.
We spoke to the government of Morocco, and I had further conversations with their representative on the margins of the Cough Corps in St. Lucia. They indicated that the Moroccan Wolf individual or entity is known to them, and that this is a hacker, and we are reasonably satisfied that I know there was some talk in the media that, oh, they don't believe this is any ISIS, and they don't believe there's anybody overseas, and they think this is an inside job, and they think these are locals, and so on. The information that we have gathered indicates that it was absolutely a foreign hack of the website. Whether or not the person is a member of ISIL is not something that we can say.
The SVG Indian Heritage Foundation celebrated Indian Arrival Day on Sunday, May 31st, 2015, ahead of the actual day, which is today, Monday, June 1st. At the event, a call was made for persons of East Indian descent to embrace their roots and use their culture to help build SVG's heritage tourism product. We get more in this report from SVG-TV's Sharon Garraway.
It's been 154 years since the arrival of East Indians to this country as indentured servants. 260 East Indians took the 94-day journey from Chennai on the ship Travancore in 1861 and landed at Edinburgh Bay. And as time went by, 8 other ships docked on the island. Vice President of the SVG Indian Heritage Foundation, Dave Batiste, says strengthening the culture and enriching fellowship of the ethnic group is needed. He says the organization, which was established in 2005, has a clear mandate.
To promote, propagate, and advance Indian culture, to bring together into a strong, vibrant body all descendants of Indian origin and their families in the country, and to affirm and promote fellowship and understanding among descendants of Indians and their families in the country and in the diaspora. There are a few more, but obviously, in the interest of time, I won't go into them.
President Junior Bacchus says the organization is not instigating tribalism, but a means of understanding their history.
This is not a racial getting together of Indians to create any problem. This is the Vincentian community, many of us with some East Indian origin, who decided to preserve the culture, to recognize where we came from. And it is in recognizing where we came from we will be better able to chart the way forward for us as a people.
Credited for her work at ensuring the Indian Arrival Day was established on June 1st and Indian Heritage Day commemorated on October 7th, former Minister of Culture Rene Batiste called on those of East Indian descent to see the value of their cultural practices to this country's tourism.
Ensure that aspects of the history, a lot of it you have on Facebook now, on the Facebook page, but you know, it's not sexy for the young people to go there unless you're a person of Indian heritage or somebody interested in history. But if you put it on exhibition, they'll be able to see the photographs of families, and that was a wonderful thing. I see families from Trinidad and other places in the Caribbean diaspora making comments and say, oh, my uncle was your grandmother, brother. So that link is there, and that is a natural link to be exploited for the tourism.
The need to build this country's heritage tourism through a vibrant East Indian culture was also reiterated by Minister of Culture, Ses Mackey.
So we want to make the Heritage Festival another festival in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which we can use to invite persons to our shows to build the heritage, the cultural tourism product here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Featured speaker Sabir Nakuda, who represented the Barbados East Indian community, pleaded with Vincentians of East Indian descent to preserve their roots. He says this will not make them lose their Vincentian identity, but will enrich it.
But know who they are, and that is important. We are Barbadians. I am a Bajan Indian, although I came when I was 10 years old. I'm in Barbados for the last 57 years. Does not mean that I'm any less Bajan than the Bajan who was born in Barbados, but I know who I am, and my kids know who they are, and my grandchildren know who they are, and that can only be done. And you know, I'm emphasizing again and again on language and religion.
Caribbean Regional Coordinator for the Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, GOPIO, Dr. Arnold Thomas, says the East Indian Heritage Foundation must be proud of their achievements, mainly the planning of the International Diaspora Conference in 2012, a first for a small island. At the event, greetings from the High Commission in Suriname and Trinidad and Tobago was delivered by Secretary of the Foundation, Cheryl Rodriguez. Next on the calendar for the SVG Indian Heritage Foundation is the hosting of a music festival in October at the Murray's Heights Hotel. Sharon Garraway, SVG Television News.
Over 18 medical specialists and students on Sunday, May 31st, offered free medical care to some 300+ residents of Vermont and surrounding areas as part of the Rotary Club's Village Doctor program. The free clinic was held at the Vermont Community Center, and Director of Community Services Dr. Francois Trushu told SVG-TV News that the Village Doctor program is a flagship project of the Rotary Club. Dr. Trushu explains that the project got started about 10 years ago with 2 to 3 clinics each year. He describes the Vermont clinic as one of the biggest the club has ever seen and adds that while it is the first clinic for 2015, it is the second such activity for the Rotary year.
Pretty much say that this is one of the most successful or the biggest one we ever had. I could very much say, without tally up the number, that about 300 people from the community will be there. I think we have about 15 various disciplines in medicine, going from pediatrics, gynaes, eyes, dentistry, pharmacy, couple of visiting doctors as well in surgery. We of course have the Trinity School of Medicine that is helping us with a student to do the screening and the vitals, and a couple of doctors of the Trinity School as well. So I'm looking forward to those programs every year, and I'm looking forward as well, of course, continuing with under the new leadership of a new president, Shafia London Williams, that is going to lead the club as of next month, I think, and want to continue as for, of course, this flagship project.
Incoming president of the Rotary Club, Shafia London Williams, says as a non-profit organization, the club is committed to serving and giving back to the community.
As incoming president, I therefore wish to continue the work of the club over the years. The Village Doctor program has been going on for over 10 years now, as Dr. Trushu said, and it is something that we don't wish to end, as the demand is definitely overwhelming, and we would want to continue this. We are in Vermont today, and we have more persons who are in need of medical services than we can provide. However, we are very happy with the success and that we were able to come to the assistance of many persons who may otherwise not be able to access medical services for various reasons, including financial. We are very pleased that the people were able to come out in their large numbers, and during the next year we would definitely continue this program, and hopefully it will be as much a success as it is in Vermont.
Continuing with the news, 2 persons have been hospitalized nursing serious injuries sustained from an accident which occurred last evening in the Rathamil area. Reports are that around 6:30 p.m. a white omnibus owned by Brian Hathaway and driven by Junior Marshall was coming from the Georgetown area when it went over an embankment and hit a tree. The dismantled 21-seat vehicle, which also had children on board, was said to be coming from a church function when the driver lost control of the vehicle. Loretta Richardson, a 30-year-old unemployed of Longwall, was arrested and charged with the murder of Cameron.com Primus, a 38-year-old businessman of Arnisvale, which occurred at New Montrose last Thursday, May 28th. Richardson appeared at the Serious Offences Court today and was not allowed to plead to the indictable offense. She was remanded in custody until September 7th, when the preliminary inquiry is expected to begin. She is being represented by lawyer Jomo Thomas. And Wilfred Davis, a 54-year-old farmer, and Joyce Bob, a 43-year-old vendor, both of Richland Park, were arrested and charged jointly with the murder of Edson Jack, a 74-year-old farmer of the same address, which occurred last Thursday, May 28th. Both accused appeared at the Serious Offences Court today and were remanded in custody. It is alleged that the duo inflicted cutlass wounds to the body of the deceased during an argument over an animal. Deontay Mayers, who represented the Mystique Company Limited, shone brightly on Saturday night, May 30th, securing the title of this country's 65th Carnival Queen. Mayers, who made a clean sweep of all 4 judge categories, also took the award for Miss Photogenic, the 3rd place of the Lime Viewers' Choice Award, and also tied with 2 other contestants, Decia Murray and Chantal Dells, for the Best Community Spirited Award. Jamisha Wright was there and has the details in this report.
Miss SVG 2015 goes to Deontay Mayers. The pageant, which saw for the first time the contestants wearing 2-piece swimwear, saw Mayers getting the judges' nod in that category. According to the judges, Mayers also displayed the most outstanding talent, with her tribute to the Garifuna people. A piece by local designer and Miss SVG 1999 Kimon Batiste, Mayers also wowed the audience in her gown and in the interview segment.
Social media has become quite popular all over the world. What, in your opinion, are some of the advantages and disadvantages of social media?
Social media is indeed very popular. I can say honestly that I'm a member of WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So I can tell you honestly that some of the advantages of social media are the fact that you can communicate faster and more efficiently with your friends and family who are abroad. You can also market things easier. For example, we can market St. Vincent via pages on Facebook and Instagram. Some disadvantages, however, are the fact that what you post on the internet often lasts forever. So if a person posts something that is detrimental to their reputation, it can affect them negatively in their future.
Following the crowning, Mayors told SVG-TV News that though she did not expect to perform as well as she did, it was always the mission of her team to have her top in all 4 judged categories.
I'm so happy. I cried. Why are you crying? Because I tears of joy. They are. When I left after every category, I was disappointed because I felt I could have done better, and my chaperone had to reassure me. She said, "Beyonce, you did well. Stop worrying." And I'm happy to see that I did do well, and all of my hard work paid off.
I know. What words would you use to describe today, leading up to the show? How you felt? How was the day like for you?
It was all very anticlimactic. I went to bed at 3 o'clock this morning, and then I had to wake up to get my hair done. And it was very hectic, very rushed, and I think the people around me were more worried and stressed than I was. But I had fun tonight. I did.
Yeah. All right. And I'm sure you're looking forward to Miss Carnival.
I am. I really hope that, but I'm going to work to bring the crown back to St. Vincent because this is where it belongs.
Did you expect that tonight you would have swept all 4 categories? Did you expect to do what you just did?
To be honest, we were aiming to sweep all 4 categories because my chaperone, Kimon Batiste, she challenged me in the start to do what she did in 1999, and I'm very happy that I pulled it off.
Congrats again.
Thank you.
Taking the first runner-up spot was Miss Lotto Vickish Charles, who also took the award for Miss Congeniality. Miss Lime Anika Robinson had to settle for the second runner-up position and took the first spot for the Lime Viewers' Choice Award. The other contestants in the pageant were Precious Abraham, Miss French Veranda, Chantal Dells, Miss Agricultural Input Warehouse, who took the award for the most community-spirited, Disha Murray, Miss Playford, Donna Nelson, Miss Dipcon Engineering, and Melicia Antoine, Miss Metrocent General Insurance Company Limited, who took the second place in the Lime Viewers' Choice Award. Reporting for SVGTV News, I am Jamisha Wright.
Shalicia Small, a 24-year-old young mother, on Friday night captured the Miss Oscar Phenomenal Pageant 2015 as part of Carnival activities in Oria, hosted by the Oria Sports and Cultural Organization, OSCO. Small, who wore the sash Miss Confident, outshone 4 other contestants to capture the title. She was adjudged Best Swimwear and Best Interview. The first runner-up position went to Aisha Nanton, Miss Courageous, who was also awarded Miss Congeniality. The second runner-up position went to Sharisa Nero, Miss Ambitious. The other contestants in the pageant were Renelle Lavier, Miss Zealous, who won Best Talent, and Cozelle Boucher, Miss Driven, who won the Best Evening Wear. The first ever Oscar Monarch title went to a youngster from Fancy who impersonated former National Soca Monarch Gamal Skinny Fabulous Doyle. Carnival activities in Oria climaxed on Saturday with 3 events: Juve, Street Jump Up, and the River Lime, which the organizers say was a huge success. Last evening's staging of the Hits 103.7 Island Network Soca Swing at Carnival City Victoria Park has been deemed the biggest ever. Program Director of Hits 103.7 Cyrus Sargent Simmons Edwards says all artists performed very well, especially the young talents, and that he was pleased with the fluent flow of the show. The Hits FM program director believes the event was a good balance of young artists mixed with the seasoned as well as the veterans. He also thanked the patrons for their attendance and assures bigger things next year. Edwards says Hits FM always strives to bring quality shows and says persons can look forward to exciting things for the summer. Here's a highlight from Soca Swing last night. Upstage Experience will launch its 2015 season this Wednesday, June 3rd, with an impressive array of calypso and raga soca artists. Included in the star-studded cast is the 2014 Calypso monarch Manzangi. He will be featured along with 2013 winner Scapion. The cast also includes Brother Ebony, who has had previous hits such as Nothing at All and Criminals Like Bush. He will be singing the two big songs which propelled him to victory in the humorous song competition in Trinidad recently, My Wife and Sign Language. The cast comprises Chanel, Defo, Ron B, Pammy, GC, Observer, Icom, Gideon Smart, Iceman, Sissy Littlebit, Murray, Cleopatra. The Upstage Experience will be hosting its patrons at the Russell Cinema Auditorium this year, and all shows commence at 8:30 p.m. sharp. Earlier today, Lime kicked off its Carnival sweepstakes promotion, which saw numerous customers receiving vouchers for credit and cash up to $100 at its main store in Kingstown. The sweepstakes will run throughout the Carnival season. Lime's Marketing and Corporate Communications Executive, Nikayla Williams, explains how the promotion works.
And it's loads of excitement here at Lime because every 5 minutes, one lucky customer has been winning some fabulous prizes. So far, I think we're down to about 7 customers and we have 3 more, 5 more, 6 more. I can't even count how many more to go. So what do? In the Carnival sweepstakes this year, all you do is you top up $25 or more and you get entered into the draw. You can come in and take up a service and get entered into the draw. Also, you take up a postpaid plan and you get entered into the draw. You do a data plan and you still get entered into the draw. So what we're saying at Lime, pretty much everything or anything you do, you get entered into the draw to win fabulous prizes. Cash. Now who doesn't like cash? So you can win cash, you can win shopping vouchers, Carnival costumes from the Lime Adrenaline Band, Monday Band packs, tickets to the biggest shows around St. Vincent, credit, data, and so much more. So if you're not a Lime customer yet, you need to get your Lime on right now. And if you're in and around Kingstown, you still have a few more minutes, come on down to Lime. Get your Lime on right now.